Recorded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna first talk about multiple intelligences. Oh, okay. So there are 8 that was coined by a guy named Howard Gardner. So, like I said, there are 8. The first one is spatial. This is being able to learn by potentially being able to recognize and manipulate patterns of wide space and confined areas. So people like this typically are good with drawing. So they're typically artists, or they could be architects because they're able to figure out spaces. So the next one we have is linguistic. These people typically have sensitivity to spoken and written language, the ability to learn different languages and use language to accomplish a goal. So for these people, they are really good with persuading people. So this could be people who are in uh, speakers, so like speeches, or a salesperson. Then we have interpersonal. This is having the capacity to understand the intentions, motivations, desires of others. That basically is meaning that you're a people person, you understand how other people are thinking, so you might use that in a way to get what you want. So for careers, you could see a psychologist or maybe a social worker or a teacher who is like a number one interpersonal person. And then the fourth one is intrapersonal. This is being able to understand yourself. So this could be your thoughts, your emotions, how to control your emotions. So that's just more of a self-smart kind of deal. For these, you could be a therapist, counselor. Another one we have on, so with all 8 of these intelligences, everyone has all 8, but we all have one that's our top tier. It's what your strong suit is. So for me, mine is apparently logical mathematical. Um, so that's just a broad view of the 8 intelligences. Just out of curiosity, what do you think you would be based off of these summaries?
Interpersonal.
Okay.
I would think I'm logical mathematical.
All right. Brendan.
Interpersonal.
All right. Mom, what about you?
I'd probably be interpersonal too.
And Matt?
Logical, mathematical.
Okay. Interesting. So now we are going to move into our actual lesson plan. We'll just keep the multiple intelligence into like the back burner. So for our lesson plan, who likes plants and flowers?
Me.
Me too. I actually have a bouquet in my room right now. But today we will be learning about the parts of a plant. And after learning that, we will be choosing an activity from the 8 multiple intelligences that we just learned to show your understanding of the parts. Okay, so the parts of a plant. Okay, so for this is a poster. There are 6 on here, but I want us to focus on 4. We will still go over the fruits and seeds, but that's nothing that I really want us to prioritize. Okay, so I'll just read over these and then we'll kind of do a little practice just to make sure we got it.
Those would be my favorite.
Okay, so the first part is the flower. The function of a flower is to attract pollinators. So these are the bees, bugs, and they make seeds that will someday grow into future plants. Just think of pollinators as the bee movie when they take the little jugs and they just slurp up all that yellow fluid and they just spread it around when they go flying.
Huh?
The pollinators.
They don't just spray it around when they go fly.
I'm talking about the bee movie.
Well, they don't do that. They take it back to their nest.
Okay. But then the next part are the leaves. These are the food factories. The leaves have little openings that let air and water come and go. They catch energy from the sunlight and use it to turn the air and water into food. So unlike us, they are able to make their own food by themselves just by using water and sunlight. This is a process called photosynthesis. Okay. All of the parts of a plant. Do we have any questions?
No.
No, but this is like college all over again.
Okay. So now that we've kind of got a broad idea of what the parts are, I kind of want us to do a little quiz before we move on to our activities. So for this, as you can see, there is a picture of the part, and then on the side I have part and function. I will be calling on you to answer each of the questions. So for example, I will call Emily. What is this part?
I know. Can I answer?
What are we talking about? Just the flower?
Yes. So the
Oh,
part is the flower. Okay,
Okay, so
Jennifer, what is the function of a flower?
Of course, you
to
asked me the
attract
hard part.
pollinators.
I can answer
Yeah,
that.
she just answered it.
What?
Emily answered it. She said to attract pollinators.
Right. I was getting ready to say that. Yeah. The one that just sprays stuff everywhere. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Good job. So it attracts pollinators and makes seeds that will someday grow into new plants. Good job. All
Okay.
right. So, Dad, what's the name of this part?
Damn.
Good job.
And it runs the water up to the flower so it can pollinate and make fruit and make little baby seeds.
All right. So it supports the plant and carries water, nutrients, and plant chemicals up and down to all parts of the plant. Good job, Dad.
Show
Thank
off.
you. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any more questions before we move on to our 8 different activity options?
No.
Perfect. Okay. So for our 8 activities, you only have to choose one. They're just different activities for each of the 8 multiple intelligences that we went over. So for the first one, we have a poster. This is for spatial intelligences. For this assignment, I would like you to have a drawing of a flower, labeling the 4 parts, the flower, leaves, stem, and roots, and describe the functions of each part. That's all I really want. I'll provide the poster board and then you can color the flower in if you'd like. Then for the next one, for linguistic learners, it is a flip book. I will have a copy of this for those that choose to do a flip book. It will look similar to this. You will color in each part, the flower, leaf, stem, and root. And then on each side, I want you to also describe the function of the part. For interpersonal, this is a group presentation. So those who choose to do a group presentation will do it together. This can either be a PowerPoint presentation with a picture of the part and then have a little summary of the function of that part, or you can also do a poster similar to the spatial and then just present it as a group. For interpersonal, that will be a collection. You will just go around outside and collect the different parts of a flower that we learned about and label it. So once you have gathered each of the parts, you will hand those to me and then individually describe each of the parts of a flower. Then for this one, the bodily kinesthetic, you will create a dance over each part to describe their functions. So for leaves, you could kind of do something like this, how they're soaking up the sun, and I don't know how you can really create food. Maybe you can just rub your tummy. Then for musical, you will write a song about each of the parts of a flower and their functions. For this one, you can either sing it to me or you can write it down and just turn it into me written. Then for the naturalist intelligence, you will be given the supplies for this, but you will plant a flower, and then when it becomes more mature, you will then label the parts of a flower and then come to me and tell me the functions of them. So the flower, it attracts pollinators, the stem, it carries the nutrients and water up. And then lastly, for logical mathematical, each student who chooses to do this assignment will have their own copy. It will be similar to the one I have up here. It will just be a puzzle where you will match each name of the part with the picture of the part. So then you'll glue that onto another piece of paper and then tell me the function once you're done gluing and matching the pictures. Does anyone have any questions about the expectations of the assignments?
No.
Okay. So now I'm going to call on each of you, and I'd like you to tell me which assignment you would like to do. But before you do that, let me grab a piece of paper and a pencil so I can write it down. Okay. Mom, which activity would you like to do?
I would like to do the plant, the naturalist.
Okay. Then, Dad, what would you do?
I'll do the poster
The poster?
or the group
Oh.
presentation.
Which one?
I can do both. We can have a group presentation about the poster.
Okay, so you'll do the group presentation
About the poster.
with the poster. Okay. Brendan, which would you do?
I'll do the puzzle.
The puzzle?
Yep.
Okay, Emily?
I'll do the song.
Perfect. And then Matt?
Can I do the puzzle too?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So now that we have each chosen an activity to do, I will let you get to that, but I just wanted to kind of go over what we talked about. So we learned the parts of a flower and their functions. I think we did a good job when we reviewed with what they were and what they did to the flower as a whole. So tomorrow I will give you some more time to work on this depending on what your project was, like the plant and the collection and the presentations. So good job, and we will continue this tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.